let's make this simple today. Talk about the men, talk about the women. Okay, so I mean, I don't know who to talk about: Medvedev, Nadal, or Djokovic, or Felix. Which one? You go.
Well, let's, I think the most outstanding achievement so far this year is Rafa. The way he started, winning 3 tournaments in a row at his age after an injury that I heard at one point that it was not going to allow him to play again. So I think that's just great. It's a great inspiration for the youngsters. It's just tough to beat those all war dogs. And you could see it the way Medvedev played against him the day after he knew he was going to become #1. Now, Medvedev is outstanding, reaching the #1 ranking after 15, 18 years, is it, that nobody else but the big four had achieved it. So I think that's just great for the new generation, let's call it. And I couldn't think of a greater guy to achieve it. He's irreverent, but yet he's quirky. He's not your classical tennis player, and I think that's great. And without digging too deep into it, Felix winning his 9th final after losing 8 in a row without winning a set, I think is going to open the floodgates and allow him to think about bigger things. And I think that's the reason why he hired Tony Nadal to take him to the next step. I think his forehand is working just wonderfully under pressure, which was, I think, his Achilles heel, if you will. So I think for Canadian tennis, it just looked great. But those are certainly the 3 biggest stories of the year.
When he played Rublev in the first final that he won, he was impeccable. I mean, his serve, everything, and you could see that if ever he is able to maintain that type of consistency, certainly he could have a Grand Slam in his grasp somewhere down the line. The same thing with Dennis. Unfortunately, Dennis is still struggling a little bit, can't seem to string 4 or 5 matches together, which of course is a concern when you're playing Grand Slam.
Yeah, I love the way Dennis plays, and I thought he was going to beat Rafa. The way Rafa was playing up to that point, I told a couple of people, listen, Dennis should win this match, and unfortunately he didn't take the step, but it's only a matter of time. I think he's going about it the right way. He looks a bit disorganized in terms of his tactical discipline when he's in a match against a guy like that, but in the 5th set, he just, folded a bit, and it's understandable. I don't know if the argument they had at the start of the set did him in or what, but it was all fair and square. But you guys have, 2 top prospects, and who will win the first, the major first? It remains to be seen, and I think those 2 are pulling and pushing each other all the way to the top. So it's great to watch, and it's a great problem to have.
Well, it's one thing to talk about men's tennis, but we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Mr. Djokovic, what do you think? What's happening? What is he going to do?
Well, he's firm in the fact that he's not going to get vaccinated. Let's see where this goes. There are bigger problems in the world. COVID seems to have taken a back seat to what's going on in the Ukraine right now, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens in Europe in the next couple of days, weeks, months. Who knows? So and Djokovic, if he comes back and when he comes back, he's the most complete player out there in terms of physicality, stroke production, and mentally. I don't think he's going to let up. I think he still has 3-4 good years inside of him if he chooses to do so. He will regain the #1 ranking in a couple of weeks, regardless, because of Medvedev's results in the past couple of years. So I think he's pretty much the biggest man in town, if you will, in men's tennis, and I have no reason to doubt his level. It was very strange that he lost to Vanek in the quarterfinals last week. to me, it was very surprising. Although Vanek has produced great tennis in the past, it has been a couple of years since he came back from injury and found his form, but he played magnificently the whole week. So, it remains to be seen. That's what I love about this. I just think that that he's still the man out there when and if he wants to be.
We're talking, of course, about the sport and everything else, but you referred to Ukraine. What do you see the ATP, the players, their stands and so forth going forward? I know that in some places they're recommending that players cannot play against players from Russia. So that I hear all kinds of rumors. What have you heard?
Well, you saw the statement put forth by the Big Seven, as they call themselves, which is the ITF, the ATP, WTA, and the four majors. And I think it was pretty clear cut. You can't play over there. Now, tennis being an individual sport, I do think that players are supposed to, be playing. I am all for that, except if a player is voicing their a stance contrary to where the rest of the tennis community is, or as we are, because I add my name to that sentiment. So I think they should be playing. They should play unless they're stating that they are supportive of the actions of their countries, because at this point it's two countries, it's Russia and Belarus, and we have two Belarusian women that are at top of the game, and Sabalenka and Azarenka. So it's pretty, it's a pretty ugly situation, and I think it should stand like that unless we see their behavior change, or if they start stating their support for this calamity.
It's a very difficult one, and one that we're all, I know we have two Ukrainian coaches working for us, and I know what they're going through with their families back there and talking to everybody. It's a very, very, very tough. Okay, well, let's finish this off with something more interesting, and I really need your insight. Please, please, please. Genie Bouchard, okay, shows she's, dating a quarterback and she's looking good and so forth. And Bianca, has won, and then, we don't know where she is. And Leylah started back in Mexico this week. So talk to us about the girls.
Well, a very interesting situation there from three ladies that come from very different backgrounds. In the case of Genie, I saw her succeed as a junior, then I saw her succeed as a professional. And, she obviously has a big appetite for other interests in life, and it's her life. And she's obviously looked through that window and lived or tasted a different sort of beat to life, and it's going to be very difficult for her to put the toothpaste back on the tube, but it can be done. She's a great athlete, and to see how committed she is, and as she improves or matures as a person, I should say, let's see if she realizes her potential and goes back to it. But she's a very successful person, be it as it may, and we all want to see her be happy whichever way it goes. Bianca, incredible talent, raw talent. Also, same case in terms of looking through the window. She's a completely different background than Genie in my book. So there is also a bit of that novelty to her new celebrity status, or not new anymore because it's been a couple of years already. And she's also had the injury situation. If she manages to take care of that, I've seen her, fighting hard and training hard to get back in fighting shape, and she's trying to. And if she does, she's a powerhouse. She takes a racket out of the opponents. And Leylah, it's completely different. I happened to have met her father and seen her play from up close, and she has her goal set straight. She keeps working very hard. She seems to be focused on this. She seems to have been more prepared for success to come. and it's been more recent. So it's completely different cases. Either way, I think Canadian tennis, has seen their efforts pay off, and I'm glad to see it. I want to see people succeed. I want to see them do well and be happy whichever way it goes. But in terms of tennis, I would put my money on Leylah, just because the way she's been working, the way she's been going about her business, and because she's been the best of them three as of late. But it is certainly a very interesting situation to have.
One last question. Is Serena retired? Is she coming back? When are we going to see her? I mean, she is women's tennis.
And it's been for a long time. She's just a great champion, at times misunderstood. It's tough when you're such a huge, great competitor. And I want to see her succeed. I want to see her get the 24th. Why not a 25th? I would venture towards her preparation for Wimbledon. I think she's zeroing in on that. I think the clay benefits her. She works hard and gets some rhythm on the clay, but I don't think she's going to stop until she gives it at least a couple more cracks. Now, the thing is how healthy she is and how committed she is, and as long as Mouratoglou doesn't start coaching somebody else, he's in that camp. She has a chance, and you can never discount a great champion like she is. So let's look for it. It would be great for tennis, and I just hope that she achieves her goal. She certainly fought hard enough for them, so I think she deserves it.
Well, everything you're talking about looks like we've gone through a lot of difficult times in tennis, but it seems like 2022 is going to be a gangbuster. And it would be even a better gangbuster of a story if Ukraine was strong and safe. Nico, thank you so much. Love you.
My pleasure. Take care, guys. Thank you very much, Pierre.